Hello and welcome back to another Minecraft Ideas. This time we're gonna look at some enchantment places. I was gonna say libraries, but not all of these are libraries. For example, if you look at the first one, it's not a library, so it's more of an enchantment play. Every single one of these things I'll show you have a level 30 enchantment possible. That's one of the conditions I set for myself, that you have to max out your equipment while using it. It has a button which sends a skulk sensor on top. You can see there's a little line going up here, and this thing sets off the trapdoor over here. You have to time it right, and for this amount of space you will need an almost full chest of any block. You don't have to be netherite, it will be dirt or cobblestone, it really doesn't matter. I don't even know why it beats netherite, that's kind of a weird flex. So, as said, this thing is level 30, so you can make your thing. The inside of this looks more like a crystal, as a big crystal from the outside. So you can use some block of amethyst and some amethyst buds. And of course you need to have enough bookcases for this thing to be level 30. I don't think you need the top layer of the bookcase, those are just for decoration. But these at the bottom are necessary, as the converter, the skulk sensor and the chest actually takes away the books behind them. These don't actually work, so you'll need these and do it at the back as well, or else you won't get it. And if you go back in the outside and look at how this thing is made, I thought about doing this in a tower, maybe like a medical tower, but I decided to do more of a magical cave system instead. So this is maybe something you do underground in a crystal cave. Try some crystals here and there, and use tinted glass with multiple purple glass above each other, and all the way at the bottom is pearl-scented frog light. Also note that this thing at the bottom does have a small timer, so that this thing at the bottom and the skulks at the top are well timed together. You have to play around with it a little bit. I think this one's like 4 ticks. Yeah, it's 4 ticks. And the top one is also a couple of ticks. So yeah, this one needs 3 ticks as well, so you get it takes a while to get it correctly, but when it's correct forever. So, and then you don't have to worry about it. And if we come to our next enchantment place, this is more like a library, right? This is a steampunk-like library. Try to do a follow-up of the steampunk kitchen that I did in an earlier episode. Maybe this one is also a room in that house, and you can use the wires in the kitchen and connect them to the wires up here. And these are regulators for the water below the enchantment place, and you use the water to go up there as well. If you go over here, there's some soul sand over here where you can go inside of, and then you can good up like that. This one also goes to level 30, as you can see, so this works perfectly fine as well. The reason why it looks odd, in my opinion, is because there's no roofing going on. But if you have a roofing, then you can maybe add some more copper elements or lightning elements, which will make it more interesting looking. That's also the reason why this thing is flat over here, as I imagine that you have a roofing right at this layer, and then this thing will also be closed off, which might look better then. But for the room itself, basically just a very big library, the middle part being kind of statue-like. The walls itself are just entirely made out of bookcases. There's also some chiseled bookshelves, so you can add some custom books. Maybe this you can change them all to chiseled bookcases and use it as a storage room for all your enchanted books. Then you can also label the books, so like, oh, these are my efficiency books, these are my looting books. So it's one big organized space. There's multiple layers to go on, so you can reach up to here like this, and then you can go with the ladder up here, and you can reach all of these layers. It's very survival friendly and it's very clean, but it still has that authentic rustic feel of a steampunk room. And next up is more of a natural looking one. I like to think that this is like a burned down tree. Like used to be a very gigantic tree which has been burned down. But there's still problematic living inside the tree house itself. The surrounding of the tree is very simple, it's just very lush, like But I try to limit myself with the amount of greenery I put inside the tree, as it is indeed a burnt down tree, so it will make sense that there's like a lot of greenery. But it will make sense if there's just a tiny bit amount of greenery from like other plants that are trying to take over the tree trunk itself. So when we go inside, as I said, there's another enchantment table that you go to level 30, and just some books that, well, there's enough books here to make level 30. I think there's just a couple more than it's really needed. I think these two are not really needed, and that one over there, and this one of course as well. But this segment over here and over there, they're all needed. I think this one on top as well, I'm not quite sure. If you look from the bottom to the top, you'll see a lot of cobweb, some roots as well, so make it look like it's an very old tree, and sort of fences and stripped oak wood to make it feel a little bit more, damaged, I would say. Now if you look at the bottom, you see that a small amount of magic lives still in the tree all the way at the bottom. So this is also verdant froglight, but I'm not quite sure. Yeah, verdant froglight. So the water still goes all the way to the bottom, but that's the whole thing that's going on. That also makes it look a little bit nicer if you look it from the top. Use the same tactic as I use with the crystal. Use multiple layered glasses above each other to make it look like deeper than it actually is. Also a small thing that I want to show you, which I didn't do before, is that the enchantment table actually gives a small amount of light. So you don't really need to put a lantern or a torch in there, as the enchantment table itself does enough. It also gives a very beautiful effect, as you can see, like the inside of the tree is just mildly glowing while the outside is still very dark. There's no other lights going on except for the lichen. I added some lichen here and there to give a small amount of light, as the lichen also gives us a little light boost. And it just turned out so beautiful. And then probably my favorite one of the bunch, and that is this guy clock tower. It looks like a clock tower, but it's also a library. You can see here we got an enchantment table, and as the other one you can make it level 30. So this thing works great. There's a lot of decorational things going on over here, and I'll lead you guys along. So we got, for example, we got the flying books here, which is done by item display and block display. Very easily done, it's just 2 books and 3 papers. And I try to rotate them everywhere and make it look like you're flying around. That's not a book, that's a bat. What are you doing here? Anyway, so yeah. So it makes it look like the books are like flying around. You have to keep in mind that this thing is normally placed all the way in the sky. So maybe somewhere around 200 or something. It's just very high up in the sky, which makes it look a lot better, of course, that the books are flying around, because that then it will look like you have a lot of wind going on, which you probably do have if you're that high up. Other than that, it's just your basic clouds-like structure. The bottom is purely made out of glass and calcite, and on top is a mix of calcite and glass. So there's some parts here, it's also glass, where you can look straight down. If you're talking about decoration itself, you can add a lot more here and there. For this one I just added a lantern, brewing stand with a new heavy core on top of it, which makes it look like it's almost standing on top of the brewing stand. If you can see, it's almost like a heavy core holder. Now if you look at what's going around the building, you see that there's multiple small clouds. These are supposed to be small clouds, yeah. And inside the small clouds there are more books, and the books are going around in a spiral around the clock tower. Let's see, it goes up in a spiral, which makes it look so much cooler in my opinion. And the clock tower itself, not really that much going on. You'll see that not entirely filled up, so I left some blocks open here and there to give it more of an open feeling. Give it a little bit more lighter. If you completely filled it up with blocks, in my opinion, it would have been very heavy. But right now it looks a lot lighter, and it just looks like it can actually stand on top of the cloud, you know. On top there's the clock with chains and a wither skull. Of course you can also use item display and use your custom made clock, and that will work as well. But I decided to use just a simple clock-like structure, and it works well enough in my opinion. And if you see in Midnight it still looks amazing. The parts that are important are lit up, while all the other parts, the more decorational stuff, is still very dark. You'll notice that the books are still very much lit up, but that's because they have block and sky display 15, which is hard-coded value, so I can't really change that. So even in the darkest room, they will still look like it's day outside. That's just a small issue with these things, but it doesn't really mess things up. And there you have it. Those are 4 different ways of doing an enchantment room. I hope you got some inspiration out of this one, and I hope you can proceed with your building, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.